Hey, this is Tim, and just in time for the holiday season, I want to make a video about clarity in your business as a small business owner, as someone who is a coach or a consultant, how to find clarity on this journey and how I plan out the next steps in my business. And the title of this video is The Importance of Clarity, How I Plan Out the Next Steps in My Business. And that's what we're going to go over here. I want to break down for you how I find immense clarity on what I should do next in business and how I know what the journey ahead is. Because the journey of an entrepreneur is a lonely journey. And I've been an entrepreneur for the past 5 years. I started off a business with dating that wasn't very successful. Then we started being more successful. And then I transitioned into teaching coaches and consultants how to build their businesses and scale their businesses to over $100,000 a year. And what I want to do is I want to help you understand how we find clarity in our business, how I find clarity in my business and the next steps that I should take when I go through these moments and sort of these highs and lows. Because something that's not talked about a lot, I think, is just how lonely the journey of being an entrepreneur is. I mean, everyone online talks about how glorious it is to leave school and to be an entrepreneur and forge your own path and step out of the matrix. And while that all sounds good and it's nice to aspire to that, I think that it's become a bit of a fad and a bit of a fun thing to aspire to, but not necessarily something that's practically relevant for everyone, right? The journey of being an entrepreneur is very lonely. It's very stressful. You're solving problems that the average person isn't going to have to solve and put on their shoulders, whereas you're solving those problems and saying, I'm going to make a commitment to solving these issues on my own literally without help from anyone. And maybe you have a small team working for you. Maybe you have a few people who are on your side, a business partner, but still you're taking a lot of weight onto your shoulders and there's a lot of stress there. So what I want to do here is I want to give you the steps that I use to get clarity and to make sense of this journey of entrepreneurship so that you can sell more, so that when you go through those dips in your sales, when you go through those times where no one's engaging with your content, maybe your emails aren't hitting well, maybe no one's looking at your videos. When you go through those dips in your journey, I'm going to give you some tips as to how you can find clarity on the other side. Okay, so before we get into the how, I have to talk about the what. And one thing I want to tell you is stay to the end of this video because I'm going to give you a really cool thought exercise that you can use for yourself, something I give my incubator clients, the people that I work with on building their businesses. I'm going to give you this really cool exercise that you can use in your business today that can help you provide clarity, that can help you gain clarity going forward, even if you're doing this journey alone, even if people don't necessarily get you. So I'm going to explain that to you at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for it. So the first thing we have to go through is to set up what we call the 4 pillars of business. There's these 4 pillars, these 4 circles or categories of business that I teach, that I believe in when it comes to a small business, a small coaching company or a small consulting company. Number 1 is your brand. Number 2 is the community you have, so community. Number 3 is sales systems. And number 4 is cash flow. These are what we call the 4 pillars of business. Now, all 4 of these pillars are helpful, but not all 4 of them are equally as important. For example, in brand, community, sales systems, and cash flow, a lot of times the most important thing for you to get handled right off the bat is your cash flow, which is why in our program, we teach our clients how to make cash quickly, how to just solve the money problem instantly. That's what cash flow is. Then we have sales systems. Sales systems is, do you have a system in place where you can get sales over and over again without having to worry about where the next one is coming from? An example of a sales system would be something like an email list, or something like having a really good funnel, like maybe Clickfunnels or Kajabi, or having a webinar that's automated, which again goes back to a funnel, or having some kind of Facebook group where people can book calls with you really easily. Are your sales systems set up? That's the second. Then we have community. A community is something like a Facebook group, something like a tribe, a community where people follow you and look at what you offer and they buy into it. And then we have brand. And brand is when people see your name, what do they think? Do they identify your name with what you do? Do they identify your name as, oh, this is someone I can invest in? One of the reasons our dating business became successful is because people identified my name with dating. They identified Tim Ray, that's my name, with dating. And there was all these links to me and dating. So they understood, oh, Tim Ray's this dating coach. Tim Ray's this guy who teaches masculinity and healthy dating skills. So We built a brand, but the first thing we solved in our business was cash flow. Then we built out our sales system, and then we had a really strong community at the same time. Actually, sales system came a little later for us. I was working really, really hard on cash flow. Then we built our community. Then we built out our sales system, and then we built our brand. Now, you don't want to be focusing early on building a brand. And a lot of times business can be confusing because I think a lot of coaches that I follow on Facebook, a lot of people I know who I talk to, even clients of mine who come to me for help, one of their biggest issues is they start off trying to build their brand first, and they think people really, really care about the brand, when in fact, people don't really care about their brand so much. What they care about is the value that they can offer and the change that you can make for your clients. That's what they really care about. They don't care so much about your brand and like your name. And this is a mindset that has to be changed in business. So when you get clarity in your business, it's extremely important that you know which of these circles, which of these pillars is most important for you at the time you are now. For example, we built our cash flow to a really, really good level. So now our next thing is focusing on our sales system. And our whole focus of 2021 is going to be only sales system and our brand. That's it. No other focuses. Now, are we going to have some cash flow? We have to, because that's how you run a business, right? Are we going to have a community? We have, and we do have a community. Feel free to join it. I think the link may be below, or you'll get it from me in email or something. But we do have a community, our Facebook group. But for us, the priority is going to be sales systems, and it's going to be our brand. It's going to be increasing the Live Your Freedom brand, and then increasing our sales system so that in turn we can help more people. Now, the only way I knew this is because I took time to find clarity. The only way I knew this is because I went through 3 specific steps, 3 specific mindsets to gain clarity. And what you want to do is in your business, in your consulting practice, in your coaching practice, you want to find clarity at every single level. You want to find clarity on the brand level, the community level, the sales systems level, the cash flow level. You always want to find clarity. You want to be moving towards clarity. The moment you find yourself in a place of confusion, which is the opposite of clarity, in our journey of shadow work, which I'll talk about in another video, shadow work is the mindsets and the inner work behind self-development, whether it's in business, dating, fitness, whatever. In this journey, you want to have 3 things: clarity, consciousness, and control. Clarity is the first one. So you need clarity about what to do next, or clarity about what actions to take. And you want to have this clarity at every single level. There's some reading material I want to give you to check out, a book that I want you to check out before we get to our steps to clarity in a second. And it's called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And Jim Collins is an incredible author. He's a business researcher and business analyst. And he created this book. He wrote this book called Good to Great, which talks about how to be a healthy leader and decision maker in business at all levels. It primarily focuses on Fortune 500 companies, the book, but the principles can be scaled down as you build your own business and you grow in your own journey. So check that book out. It's great reading. We'll put the picture on the screen here from Good to Great, or Good to Great by Jim Collins. I read it and it changed a lot of the way I ran my business. So I suggest you check it out as well. Before we get into the 3 steps to finding clarity, I want to let you know that if this is the kind of information that you need and that you think is going to help you grow, subscribe to our channel, because it really, really helps when you subscribe and click that button, because that way we have more people who actually see the channel, more people who are supporting us, more people who are watching the videos. They're not monetized. I'm not making money from this. This is literally free coaching and free training that I'm just giving you so that you can grow in your own business journey. So go ahead and press subscribe if you're learning from this information. Let's go ahead and get into the 3 steps to clarity. Number 1, unplug from the matrix and de-stimulate. Unplug from the matrix and de-stimulate. It's so difficult to find clarity when you're getting stimulated from all these sources around you telling you how you should be and how you should act, right? It's very, very difficult to actually be on your purpose in business and gain clarity in your business if you're not clear about what you do and clear about how to get there. And it's hard to become clear when you're in this matrix, in this haze of receiving information and stimulation from everywhere, and you're not unplugged. When you're not unplugged and when you're constantly getting new information thrown at you, it causes chaos and it causes you to feel nothing that I do is right. I'll give you an example. I go on Facebook often. That's a big part of our business, Facebook sales. And what I'll do is I'll see people that are coaches that are doing better than me, or at least it appears so in their copy, in their articles they write, their live streams. They look so successful. They look like they're just crushing it. And maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But what happens is in my own head, I begin to feel I'm not doing enough. There's more strategies that I could be doing. Damn it, I didn't close $200,000 in sales this year. Damn it, I'm not a millionaire coach. Damn it, we don't have our whole programs filled up all the time. And I begin to feel that and reinforce it over and over and over again, and it hits me in my soul, and I'm like, how can I do better? How can I do better? And I frame my own growth through the lens of what these other coaches are doing, and through the lens of their own sales copy, and the lens of the little strategies that they put out. And I begin to become hungry for more information and more learning from people who might not even be better than me. And when I do this, it takes away from my clarity. So the first step to clarity is unplug from the matrix of stimulation. Just for a little bit. You don't even have to do this for weeks and weeks and weeks. But something I got from my mentor is, instead of consuming and being a part of the rat race of stimulation, information, take a moment to unplug. I did this yesterday. I sat in the bathtub right behind me. We're filming in my apartment. The bathtub is back in there in the bathroom. I sat in the bathtub and I went into a place of presence and gratitude. Just for 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I just sat with it. I sat and I felt gratitude for my future in my business. I sat and I felt gratitude for what the future looks like if I did this business practice right and this business journey correctly. I sat, and I'll get more into how to do this in a second. I sat with it and I unplugged for a full day. I didn't look at all the posts. I posted something on Facebook, just copy pasted it, but I didn't scroll, look at what other coaches were saying. I didn't look at my competitors' live streams. I didn't go into people's Facebook groups and look at how well they're doing. I unplugged and I destimulated. And when I did this, it moved me into a position and a place of clarity. The second thing is, don't try to be others. Be you. This is a follow-up to what we just said about destimulating. Don't measure your future on what other people program you to believe that a good future looks like. I don't care if it's Gary Vee. I don't care if it's me, who you look at some of my stuff. I don't care if it's tailopez, any of these people you may follow or hear stuff from. All the influencers, who I also follow, by the way. Don't try to be other people, be you. This is actually a principle that I learned when I was teaching dating back in 2016 to 2019. And one of the things that I realized was, a lot of my clients would see me interact with women and see me interact in these social settings and environments, and they'd be like, oh, I want to meet women or socialize the way Tim does. I want to kind of copy Tim's personality and his character. And what would happen is, I would have these guys coming on my program, because most of my clientele were men back then. I would have these clients come on my program who were these incredible, ambitious, thoughtful, conscientious men who would come on my programs, get coaching from me. Those are the people I like to work with even now in business. And what would happen is, they would start doing really, really well. They would have some confidence. We'd give them a big confidence boost. They'd go out and put themselves out there. And then when it came to actually making something happen with an amazing woman, like, setting up a date with her or planning something for the future, when it would come to those moments, they would try to do it like me. And it maybe be a little witty. I'm a bit of a fast talker. Sometimes I look real serious as well. I combine those two things. So they would try to do it like me, and it just wouldn't be them. And the women would get freaked out. They'd be like they would like the guy the whole time, and then there would be this shift in energy, and they would be just so turned off and just so disgusted. And what I had to do is I had to literally create a part of our program that was telling them to deprogram from following me or other influencers that were in the dating community at the time, and tell them to just be you. Now, we went through an enormous amount of shadow work to get there. We went through an enormous amount of reconditioning of Pavlovian conditioning of the brain and all that stuff, which is some stuff I do in my business program. It's really fun, but it was a journey. But the reason I had to add that in is because they were trying to be me. The same way in my business, I've tried to be others. I've tried to be mentors of mine. And my mentor, one of my business mentors, he tells me, he's like, stop trying to be me. You're a better copywriter than I am. Don't try to write copy the way I do. Write it the way you write it yourself. Why can't yours be better than mine? Why am I better than you at this? So I had to learn how to unplug from trying to be him, and I had to only think, what would I do? This doesn't mean you can't look at people and say, I like what they do. I like what this person does. I respect the work they put in. I could learn some things from some of their insights, but don't try to be them. Unplug from that. Number 3 is something that we call the 10x rule, and this is not what I created. This is Grant Cardone. He says, whatever goal you have for the future, work at it 10 times harder, do it 10 times better. All right, put in 10 times the work you think you're gonna need to get there, and then you'll hit the goal when you do 10 times. And I also wanted to throw out something I learned from Gary Vee, which is, everyone knows Gary Vaynerchuk if you don't Google him. But think in the macro, think the big picture. I have this tattoo on my chest, it's right here. And there's a quote that he said. I got this a while ago. wrote quotes from some of my mentors. Don't judge me. But I have a tattoo here, and you see all my tattoos on my neck. I have a lot of them. But I have this tattoo. It says the mission, the motive, the macro. What's your mission? What's your motive for getting to that mission? And then what's the macro processes that are going to get you there? What does the macro big picture look like? So we in our business identified very clearly what our macro picture is. We know what that looks like, and we're going to do everything we can to get there. But the reason we can get there is because we have the motive behind our mission. So we know what that is. We think big in my business. I think big. I never think small. I think, how can I get bigger? And that doesn't mean more money, by the way. But that means, what's the big picture? So instead of me thinking with tomorrow, how do I make the sale tomorrow? How do I handle the money problems of today? Instead, I think, what does January look like? What's the big picture, and how do we put systems in place to help us get there? The money will come. The money will be there. Huge mindset that I teach. The money is always there. The money wants me. It wants to be there. How can I move towards this? What I want you to do, and I'm going to leave you with this, and here's kind of the thought exercise. There's two parts to this. One, for this week, after we watch this video, after you look at this, I want you to channel gratitude for your future. What does your future as a business owner look like if you do things right? What does the future look like? This is part of thinking in the macro and thinking big. What does your future look like? And I want you to channel gratitude towards it. What does that future look like? Number two is, what would it mean for you? What would it mean to you to operate at your fullest potential? What would it mean to you if you were at your fullest potential, where you belong right now, with your skills, your passions, your energy, everything? Where would you be right now if you operated at your fullest potential? Where would it be? Where would you be? And I want you to go ahead and I want you to channel that. And what I want you to do is, in the comments below, answer these. Answer this question. What would it mean to you if you operated at your fullest potential? Where would you be? What would life look like if you were at your most maximum potential? Channel it below, talk about it, and I'll give you some free coaching in the comments. It's massively powerful stuff. This is what I do to gain clarity in my own business, and this is what you can add as well. I'm going to leave you there. I made a free training, by the way, to actually help you access this potential, where I break down my 4 pillars to building to 5 to 10K months consistently in your business. It's a free training I made, and it lasts for, I don't know how long, it's like a 20-minute training. It's really, really valuable. It's the thing I literally give my high-paying clients. So if you want to check that training out, I put the link below. Also, comment below what it means to you to be at your full potential, and what your niche is. What do you do in business? And I'll give you some coaching on it in the comments. Respond to everything. Our channel is just getting started. So check out the free training I did. The link is below. It's amazing, and it's going to give you immense clarity right now. The link is right below this video. Go ahead and click it. And I'm going to leave you there. Take care. Have an amazing, amazing holidays. Maybe this will be the last video with our little Christmas tree in the background. But I'm going to see you later. Take care and have a beautiful, beautiful holiday, and I'll see you in the new year.